All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Link Click, Season 1, Episode 9. There has been another kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you stopped it, but then it still happened. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something about the way that we changed things and had Jean-Jean actually interfere in some ways led to this.
Yep. Something's fucky's going on. Whether it's the
all
driver
happened
or
within
it's
the time
something else.
Between taking a photo with the newspaper or the article people or whoever
and 10
a.m.
the next morning.
Well, though the same morning.
Well, yeah, right.
The same morning because there was light out.
Yeah.
On the photo. So this happened probably within hours of 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Like a couple. Maybe
there is a
one.
sussy baka here, and we don't know who it is. There might be multiple.
Well, there's at least one that we do know of.
Yes.
At least one that we do know of.
Yeah.
But yeah. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. I just realized that sound in the beginning could have been her crying.
Oh.
That little
yeah.
That could have been her crying, yeah.
I did definitely think of something very fucked of like pranking friends by just turning on a scary voice changer like that when you answer the phone.
Okay. The blonde one did have the cap with an N on it.
Oh, good.
That was just shown there.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Going to see the captain, yeah. Yep.
经过多方商议，上级部门今天上午终于决定将这唯一拍摄到的监控影像公开发布，征集线索。短短几小时内，就已经收到多条检举信息，绝大多数都指向了同一个人：刘民，男，27岁，海外留学背景。
Yeah, definitely main
现任某公司
antagonist.
执行董事。
什么执行董事
At 27?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he succeeded that, so yeah.
He's checking all the boxes.
乔玲，你我受陆光之托，为了不让你被流言蜚语弄得更焦虑，手机我就先代为保管了。
Yeah.
Okay, he's able to accept that and realize the
我去楼上谈话，
benefits of it.
陆光回来了叫我。
Yeah, here we go. Come on, show us his perspective. Come on.
嫌疑人的车牌号是。
小队，
You're gonna have to tell me how you knew that, kid.
What else? Come on. What else are you gonna get? Fuck!
程小石。
啊，大师，运工结束了。
Okay, that's
这张照片还给谁看过？
今天早上刚刚全网公布，谁都能看啊。
该死！
哎，着急去哪儿？
so maybe he can go in without lukewarm.
小队，他怎么了？
Okay.
现在这帮孩子都神神叨叨，
Or they might have already done it.
要不是上回亮哥那样子，
Or they will in the future.
That's my point. Is that
Yeah.
it's already been done. Yeah.
Right.
你猜他刚报的车牌，车主是谁？
你别卖关子，赶紧的。
就是刘民。
Wow. Wow.
手机没收了
Okay.
然后他说去2楼睡会儿。陆光，到底怎么了？啊，程小石，
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess
他人不见了。
if there's the
我们的能力互补，你能存在于照片的时空，但前提条件是机长。哟，就没别的方式吗？可惜，只能如此。那如果我自己进入照片的话，那就会跟我失联。这样，照片中将会发生什么，你将一无所知。
So that's dumb. Don't do that.
gotcha.
Shit.
Oh yeah, no. You took his phone, but you let him be alone in a room with a computer.
不引起别人的注意，不做出破格的举动。
Other than this one, you know. Oh my god.
Dude.
手机。
Oh Oh my
我说陆光之
god.
托，为了不让你被流言蜚语弄得更
Oh
焦
my
虑，手
god.
机我就先代为保管了。
哎呀，偏偏这个关键时候。
警察，有几个问题想找刘明了解一下。
刘总是警察来找明明的。
警察来干嘛？一早上到现在就没消停过。
哦，
我说你们网上发布的那个监控截图，可把我儿子害惨了。
真不好意思啊，还要麻烦您送我。
嗨，这不是顺路吗？
今天不知道怎么了，打车都打不到。
走吧，别让二老等着急了。
Oh my god.
Right as he does that, he pops the trunk. Wow. And at the same time,
That's
wow,
amazing.
That was really well done, Chegoshi.
But you
like-
don't have your phone. You're screwed.
说归说，别动手啊！
爸，
Oh.
是谁来了？
走啊你们！敏敏，你怎么出来了？
Oh shit.
我儿子经历了一场意外，人都已经瘫了。
Oh
怎么还可能
no.
做伤天害理的事？
Twin alternate reality. Going back in time restores his body while he's back in time.
There's a whole bunch of things there, but at the very least, this might be affecting the present already.
势必能找到些线索。
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
你之后
Oh yeah, that's the other reason why it's real bad to go back by yourself.
陪爸妈再找。
Because if there's no tether, then it all updates
原
instantly.
本
Yeah.
对大城市有太多憧憬，拼搏也好，奋斗也罢。你这是干什么呀？开开门，我要下车。
下车，你这是想卷着钱赶紧跑路吗？我记得你的本名叫那个什么吴丽华，对不对？啊？为了混得像个高知白领，还学人家起个英文名 Emma， 真的特别恶心。
Oh shit.
怎么会是他？
Yeah.
Right, because the photo was kept from you. Oh shit.
钱在哪儿？
Shit.
求求你放过我！
This doesn't seem like the work of a serial killer,
你说的
though.
钱是什么？
行，怎么会这样？为什么会是他？
Oh fuck.
他已经知道安娜是受害者之一，所以不
Oh
愿意
god,
让
and
这
if
事
this
情
wasn't
看见
like
Yeah.
if he already didn't have enough
So
of a rough time.
traumatizing,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you can't just
不用，
get out of the back.
Yeah.
You're trapped back there. Oh yeah, I guess maybe if the back seat opens up to it.
Holy
but-
shit, this is dark.
Fuck, man.
闺女，到家了吧？听你爹说呀，因为刚才打电话
Yeah.
让您挨领导批评了。
And that's what
爸爸跟你
changed
说声
it.
对不
Yep, he
起。
now knows.
你不会真做了什么傻事吧？
Oh.
Yep. There it is.
做了一件傻事，
Oh, buddy.
到头来还要贪图我的钱，去死！去死！统统去死！
Right, and then the phone call.
Oh my god.
没人接，
都快等2个小时了，人呢？
Fuck,
No.
man.
该出什么事儿了？
哎，呸！快赔3声，把这个钱
Oh,
呸！
oh.
为什么我的善意换回来的却是这样的结果？要完全听从我的指挥，不能做出任何改变。傻瓜，我都说了，无论过去，因为我不能改变。
Man. Yep. Yep.
不问将来，因为将来一定会因我们而改变。不过，能不能告诉我，现在我该怎么做？
If you shout,
Music.
that might,
Freak him out, yeah.
yeah.
Ah!
门一直是锁着的，他怎么就突然不见了？
Oh, and she doesn't know.
Yeah,
she doesn't know how it
No,
works.
of course she doesn't know.
Yeah.
陈教师，千万别干什么傻事啊！
小时，他到底去哪儿了？
Did he clap again?
他去了。
Wait, so then how?
他怎么突然凭空就冒出来了？
为什么一个人行动？你知道后果会有多严重吗？你干过什么？你会改变什么？是你自己都没办法掌控和驾驭的。
我知道，我全都知道了，所以我什
So
么
I
都没
didn't
做。
do anything. Yeah, I just sat there and let it happen. Yeah.
是 M 和凶犯一起上车，然后被害的。是 M。
是雀德游戏那桩委托里的那个财务总监助理。
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
除此之外，我还有件事想告诉你。你一直以为当年没有及时发现豆豆被害，所以责怪自己。但其实那件事，我也有责任。
去看看，不知道现在排队的人多不多啊？成小时。
正是因为我的突然出现，所以转移了你的注意力。
你的意思是，你能记录照片？
车牌的确是他的，但现在看来，作案人肯定不能是他。
为什么？当时是不是有一个叫艾玛的受害者上了他的车，并且他在雀德游戏任职？两人摆明了就是有关联的，一定能找到线索。
He's the one
你还
saying a
真
bunch
挺
of
神的
stuff.
这些细节都能被你查到。
从我们最新调查的资料显示，艾玛死的时候，刘民并不在场。
什么？
事实就是如此。那天凌晨1点，刘明正在医院抢救呢，而在一座废弃的大桥上，拍到了艾玛一个人经过的身影。
All right, we got a time jumper.
Yeah. And then
So-
they went into
They
Emma.
went into Emma, yeah.
They went into Emma, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, actually, hang on a second. Oh,
no, they
no.
went into Emma. That's what makes sense.
no, not just that. He is the time jumper. He noticed that there was another time jumper because he made the sound from the trunk. So he paralyzed himself in a car accident so that he would be in the hospital. Time jumped into her to make herself still kill herself. And then
Right.
paralysis, that doesn't matter because
Yeah.
you could
don't
just go
need
back and
Just
undo
go
it.
into somebody else, yeah.
Or, yeah, go into someone else, yeah. Well,
Shit.
technically it would matter because if you undid it, then you'd rewind the timeline a whole bunch, but okay,
right, yep.
you can self-clap.
Yep.
All right.
Self-clap.
Yep, that
and
makes sense.
also, we are dealing absolutely with some kind of antagonistic time hopping, body hopping into kind of person.
Who it
here.
is potentially in question, but let's be real, it's probably Liu Min.
It's probably Lumen, but
Like-
the thing is that because there's time stuff here, Lumen is not necessarily always our antagonist. That's
Yes.
the part that can get really fun.
Yeah.
So, mind games aside, Emma was absolutely moved through some kind of time setup in order to get her to the bridge so that she could kill herself.
Right. The weird thing
is
well,
that-
there's a lot of weird things.
There's a couple
but-
weird things,
So
yeah.
so okay, getting moved with time hopping stuff.
Yes.
But two, we had the situation in the previous case with the child kidnapping where once Cheng Jiaxi went back into the thing, then he appeared on the surveillance camera footage.
Right.
But he wasn't recognized beforehand. That could be a coincidence of they didn't notice, or it could be that he wasn't actually in it until later, but people still have memory of
Yes.
him not being there.
Right.
Which, if that's the case, that's really weird, right?
Well,
it's sorry.
No,
The reason why it's weird is that then when you bring it to this case, the fact that they're like, she was seen at a thing, like at walking alone on a
because
bridge.
it was updated after this.
No.
After is irrelevant.
No,
time
right,
stuff,
but yeah, it needs to be the, it's like it's a linear, right?
Right.
Where like something gets updated in the future, therefore it's updated forever, or we split to a different timeline or whatever, right? Because otherwise there would be memories, since this is an old case of no, she wasn't on a bridge, right? Because she was brought into a car and then taken away and killed, So, yeah, this is
right.
This is interesting.
The reason why I would say is because they don't have anything in this bit here that contradicts that. Everyone here's memories have already updated, basically saying that the info we've got is something that we looked into. Besides, surveillance footage captured Emma on a bridge.
Right.
They didn't have this before.
They did not, because the last time that they saw her before she turned up dead
Yes.
was getting into the car.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means that this is something that they don't have like some kind of like two memories existing that don't fit at the same time. This is, besides, we have evidence that shows that
he was the main
suicide.
suspect before, and now they're like, no, he has an alibi. He wasn't there at the time.
Right.
Which like...
That means it's probably him. Because here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have things update so quickly with regards to time in a way that works against what Cheng Jiaoxi did, because Cheng Jiaoxi literally saw or heard her get strangled in that point there. Even if it's I strangled her enough to knock her out, but I actually got out of the car, saw that there was someone that definitely was here that had time hopping abilities, and then hopped into her unconscious body and at some point a little bit after that and set up things in that regard, and then got into the car and crashed it into a thing to paralyze myself.
I would say there is a guaranteed conclusion that we can come to that there is temporal inertia with regards to time travelers' memories, because otherwise the instant that Cheng Jiaoxi went back in time, for instance, and mucked things up, or, the other guy goes back in time to change things so that she's on the bridge, they would never even, have this case, right? Or they would never know that he exists and was a suspect, right?
Right.
Nothing like that. So, given that doesn't happen, at the very least, the time travelers themselves have that memory inertia.
Yeah, they're immune. So that also ties in a little bit to where Lu Guang's situation is in.
Right.
Because he's... more active in this than he's ever been.
Yep.
And
he, in fact, started telling information that is very, revealing about, hey, how do you know this stuff? Because it was such a desperate situation. When that was the specific thing that he's like, no, you got to make sure Cheng Jiaoxi stays here, because if he came with us, he'd start, So
she didn't do that because she let him go up to his room by himself.
Right, because she didn't know how the abilities worked.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So,
And he also did think that Cheng Jiaoxi wouldn't do anything stupid once his phone is taken away. Like, he would think okay, if I can take the phone away, then he wouldn't do anything extra dumb.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
Well, no, I think that makes sense, because he's basically saying it doesn't even register in Lu Guang's mind that he would self-clap. That doesn't make sense to Lu Guang. He's like, okay, Cheng Jiaoxi is rash. But if I take away his phone... Yeah, he won't do anything really dumb.
Well, but the reason why he took away the phone is so that he wouldn't have information to then do anything rash.
Right.
But the computer's still there. So it
that's why he told her, stay with him. And she didn't follow the instructions.
Exactly,
she let him go up to his room.
And I like that as a thing of hey, even if Lu Guang knows a hell of a lot and all that stuff, the fact that he is, at the end of the day, manipulating the people around him to try and get the end result that he wants, that doesn't work, because, hey, you're keeping them in the dark, right? Like, if he gave them some more information, there might be other rippling consequences that he doesn't want, but that would allow them to more effectively be able to actually help you in certain circumstances too.
And yeah, you know what this means, man? My man has gone back so many times.
Oh, you know what my theory is? So the Liu Ming found out that there was a time hopper, because somebody made a noise that he didn't recognize from the trunk of his car. He opens it and no one's there.
No one's there. He knows, that
doesn't just happen. He's expecting, I open this and somebody's going to attack me, right? Or something like that, right? But no one's there. So time hopper, right?
Worse,
that's very direct. But advantage for protagonists, he doesn't know who, right?
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
In fact, it's almost to the point where if you were up for, say, murdering a child or, something like that, it doesn't matter. The fight's over. You don't know who the time hopper is. It's automatically done, right? Like, the instant that they go back in time, it's over. They have home field advantage. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
That is not something that they're probably going to do for clear reasons.
Reasons, because they don't also have full evidence that Lumen is the one doing this. And that's why I think the whole idea of Lumen potentially being hopped into is important. That could be a thing.
That could be a thing.
Yes.
But that's the other reason why the flaw of Lu Guang of not telling people could continue to come up, even though it already caused an issue. Because not telling your sister, okay, that's one thing, and he might be like, I can adjust for that. Not telling, say, a police officer, that's another thing. And I could buy them not picking up that, I made a noise and then I'm not there we might be in the clear.
Right.
Whereas, no, something changed after you did that. That tells you very specific information that either he is the time hopper or somebody hopped into his body, right?
Right. And that is notwithstanding the undisputed fact now that someone hopped into Emma's body.
That someone hopped into Emma's body, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, as far as Lu Guang is concerned with regards to the overarching stuff,
he now has to decide whether to tell Cheng Jiaxi that there's another time hopper.
I mean, yes, but I'm gonna say he already time hopped way far back.
Yes.
Because that's the only way you can actually deal with something like this is to go through it from the beginning.
Yep.
And that's the reason why you keep the information close to the chest.
Yep.
Because butterfly effect, you want to make sure that there is no possible way that the time hopper can get that information in any way, because he might even theoretically hop into their bodies. And so the only way to do that is to make it so that you never tell anyone.
Which is already kind of done because Cheng Jiaxi went to that spot.
Exactly.
And if now he just looks back through security footage
of
the parking garage and just sees this guy sneaking around his car, you fucked up, Cheng Jiaxi.
Yep.
But it's not even really entirely your fault.
Right.
It's mostly your fault, but it's also kind of Lu Guang's fault.
Now, the thing is, okay, so this is where it can get weird. Let's say you're a time traveler.
Right.
You find out that there's another time traveler after you that is on your trail, right? You still exist for even an instant. That means they haven't fucked you yet.
Right. So they don't know whether or not you're the time hopper.
Well, sure, but you could stay in your current timeline to get additional information. You could do that, and that would definitely give him a lot of info here. He hasn't done that because he's not here already.
What is you can't stay in a timeline. Time just exists.
No.
Yeah,
Hear me out, because you're a time traveler.
Right.
So if you realize that you still exist and time hasn't been altered yet, but there's another time traveler out there, you should press that button as fast as possible.
Yes.
That's the fastest game of who
presses the button
Who
first,
presses the button first, like Jeopardy, but your life depends on it, right?
Yeah.
Because especially when you don't have a link, because that means it updates immediately, as opposed to, say, if you have a 12-hour link with somebody that's feeding you info in real time, that means that the timeline is not adjusting at least for 12 hours, right?
Right.
So during that
And that's why the protagonists have an advantage, is that there's at least two of them.
Yeah.
And while we could have two antagonists, right now, we only definitively have one.
Right. And so this is where, if the show wants to get into like the really crunchy aspects of the time travel, they could totally do it here, because there's another time hopper, right? Like they know that, at least, even if they don't know who.
Right.
And so that's where the mechanics
and the antagonist is
on
the back foot right now, which is cool.
Right.
Because I think you're right in that when they establish the link, things are frozen in terms of updating. Like, they're not updating in real time.
And then once it ends, then it's now it renders, and that's what you've got.
Right.
They could do something where it's like it's updating in real time, and that's why they stay in the one room or whatever, but even that could get...
I beg your belief, basically, that the show will be able to not collapse in on itself without...
Just having two time travelers tends to make a collapse in on itself kind of a thing, very quickly, potentially. But I like the idea that maybe it's a speed button press, and that's why Cheng Jiaxi is safe. The fact that it was on the camera is not on the radar of the guy, right? Because it's just maybe he would have had the foresight to be like, I still exist, therefore they haven't done it yet, so theoretically they're not going to do it for a while.
We're making a couple assumptions here. We're making a couple assumptions here.
Mm-hmm.
The main one is that basically that the antagonist hasn't already won at some point in the future.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is that the reason why Lu Guang is so particular about everything is because he's lost before. Like, he's already had a point where he fucked it up. He did it wrong. He didn't know how to face off against another time hopper.
But not wrong enough to the point where he knew who you were and he went back and killed you as a baby.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Right.
All right.
And I think the reason for that is that the time hopper is not necessarily specifically, explicitly Liu Min. I think
that would explain the
I think that the time hopper that they're up against is actually theoretically multiple people.
Actually,
by being able to just hop in and stay.
Okay.
They just don't come back.
Okay, maybe
every time they hop switch, they're full switching.
No, we can actually confirm that it is Liu Min because
well, at that point it was. That's why I think it is what I'm saying. Meaning that if the hopping is something where you could just stay in that body, why do you have to leave a body and come back? To avoid the butterfly effect. But if you don't give a fuck about the butterfly effect, then you could just hop bodies and you never be caught.
Well, okay, at that point, if there isn't a time limit to the body hopping, then at that point you have no permanent body. It doesn't matter what your original was.
Right. That's my point. But you did have an original body at some point. So then,
and that's how you Death Note style keep your name a secret, so that way they can't go back and kill you as a baby. Because if they kill you as a baby, that just means you didn't get a good body.
But you can fight them in reverse by going back to who they were at some point. Right. Find that person.
Yeah.
Get them, and then you win.
And very quickly, babies start dying all over the world because you're instantaneously finding
Jacob,
new bodies to go
you're
into.
You're thinking about this way too violently, basically.
Okay.
If you start killing babies all over the world,
yeah,
then you're giving away a trail of your own. You don't want to do that. It's a cat and mouse thing where both of them are staying hidden, and you're waiting to see who's going to pop their head up over the trench, the real head, and go after it. But because Lu Guang is probably so meticulous about this, they haven't been killed yet.
All right.
Because he's extremely particular about how they do their jobs and everything.
So if there is permanency to the swapping of bodies, totes.
Right. If that's a way that they can keep the antagonist a threat without
If there isn't, we can say that it is in fact Liu Min because of the way that he was talking to her when he was strangling her.
Yes.
It was a personal thing. It was not this is, someone else doing this thing. No, it is him. He is pissed. He wants his money back, right? He's talking about the specific way that people are going after him online, right? Like that's not a substitute, right? Like that's just what's going on.
Right.
So, yeah. Is he also the serial killer? Maybe, but I would say I doubt it because he wouldn't have any motivation to. If they're really just random people with no connection to each other, and he wouldn't, unless it's just a, Yoshikage Kira, this is how he gets his rocks off, and oh, hey, this is a time that it actually, meant something to him, this one was personal, but all the others he didn't care about.
Maybe.
Then possibly, but yeah, regardless, we're in a situation where multiple people can time hop, right? Both because an enemy hopper exists, but two, Cheng Jiaoxi hopped on his own, right?
Yeah.
And yet Lu Guang still has, at the very least, his observer information reading abilities from the photos.
Yes.
And I would guess he also can time hop and just isn't right now.
Right. And that's where I get, okay. So there's a couple assumptions that we're making here that I feel like are really important to bring up here. That is their role as partners.
Yes.
But one of the things that we're assuming is that they have the exact same abilities, which they don't.
Right.
We know that for a fact.
Cheng Jiaoxi cannot read info from photos.
He cannot read info from photos. He does not have the 12-hour limit there, which means that our antagonist doesn't necessarily have the same abilities that they do.
Right. We just know that at the very least he can affect the past.
Right. He can probably time hop into a body.
Also,
at the very least.
Weird theory about how Lu Guang is able to actually read info from photos is that he's essentially doing a weird sort of micro hop situation all in an instant because of time muckery. He can, do it instantaneously.
Oh, he's effectively leaving his body. That could be foreshadowing for what the antagonist could do.
And so it's just that, and then suddenly he has a shit ton of info, right? And that's also maybe why he's so detached because,
or tired.
Sure, both of those because. Oh, hey, I'm doing all of this stuff, and I'm such a good observer that I can go back and not mess with things, and maybe as a result of that, I can do it multiple times.
I can do it multiple times, but I'm also never going to get caught.
Right.
Basically, that the thing that I love whenever we have time battles, Doctor Who is unfortunately one of the few examples that actually exists of this where you have multiple time travelers fighting against each other. So I'm not going to go into that. But basically, the issue is that it actually folds reality. You can't. It doesn't work. It's extremely hard to make it to work.
Having two people that can see the future is hard enough.
Having
two people that can change reality.
Right. Which is why I think that what the antagonist can do is not the same as what Cheng Jiaoxi and what Lu Guang can do. It is something different. It has its own limitations. It has its own specific things here, but it is absolutely a past affecting thing. Because of what happened with this here.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
could totally have different abilities. If he doesn't, the fact that he killed the person here, okay, that's with his actual body. But if he was doing other kills, right, and he is the serial killer,
right,
obviously you wouldn't do that with your body because then you could have a trail that leads back to you. Why he did it for this one even is a bit sus, right? If that's the case.
Right.
Which would mean that he would have a partner.
Well, I know that was one of the theories.
No, right, but then that complicates things even further.
Yes.
And at the same time, he might be acting totally on his own. In which case, if he is the serial killer, how has he not been caught yet?
Well, that again.
Well, yeah, time stuff. Yeah.
Time stuff.
Yeah.
2, we set up in this episode that you don't need a partner.
Right.
So, in some ways, by the laws of writing, they literally introduced the reason why he doesn't have a partner in this episode.
No, totally. I'm just saying, yes, especially from that like meta angle of, hey, there is a way to do it. So,
yes.
He doesn't have to be one of a pair.
Or also that Lu Guang and Cheng Jiaoxi are not special, and they're also not necessarily using the same abilities.
But if you're doing it by yourself, you're taking your body.
Oh, that's assuming no body hopping.
No, but the body hopping happened because like this was one of the things that was established with the original kidnapping one, right? Is that or no, it wasn't that. But basically that when you go into the photo, right? If you he double claps and he's just there himself, his body, right?
Yeah.
And similar thing with the Lu Guang was in his ear when he went back for the kidnapping, but it was his body, not maybe that was because it was a security camera thing. Basically, you didn't go into the body of you didn't possess somebody, right? There are differences with when those happen.
And that's why they showed that in that episode.
Right. Okay, yes. No, so I guess it's not actually because of not having a partner.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No. Now, all this being said, the thing that is still up in the air is actually really whether or not Lu Guang and Cheng Jiaoxi are going to 100% know this. This is something that we are supposing based on most evidence points to this, but this is an unfortunate thing here. Lu Guang is still keeping secrets from Cheng Jiaoxi,
and Cheng Jiaoxi is not the type of person to probably piece everything together.
He would definitely not piece this together. But while Lu Guang might, he won't. I don't think he will tell Cheng Jiaoxi this. One, it would break Cheng Jiaoxi's poor little smooth brain. But 2,
so is there a possibility that he actually might? Because when he heard I guess it's not that big of a deal that when he heard Emma's voice, then he made the connection that, that was the photo that he kept a secret, Like he was able to put things together pretty quick once shit started going down.
No, because Cheng Jiaoxi just fucked it up even more from his perspective. Wait. Sorry. What are you saying? Hold on.
So when he was he got in the trunk and all that stuff, and then he realized, wait, Emma.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah, of course he didn't know.
Yeah. No, right. No, yeah, he didn't know because he didn't have the info.
What does that mean, though?
But once he got the info that was the situation, he realized, oh shit,
this is because of me.
Well, yes, it was because of me. It was because of that very specific thing that I did back then. But also, Lu Guang specifically kept the fact that she was involved in this from me, and I know the exact moment in which he did the thing to keep it from me.
Right, but the reason why can still be viewed as one of Lu Guang was trying to keep something like this from happening. Lu Guang was trying to protect me.
Oh, no,
it's the same thing as the
I'm not talking
event when he went back in and thought he could save his parents, save the basketball parents.
Totally. I'm not talking about it from the standpoint of motivation for Lu Guang or his understanding of Lu Guang's motivation. That totally makes sense.
Okay.
I'm talking about with regards to his ability to make the connections once he gets some information. Okay. I mean, I guess it didn't have to be that impressive that he made that connection.
I don't think it's that impressive.
I was a little surprised, but I guess especially if he inhabited her body for that long, he would the voice he'd have a lot of associated emotions and memories with it.
But that's the thing, is that it's such a powerful, thing to be in someone's body, probably emotionally. That you absolutely would find the connection there and go back to maybe this is maybe this is a weird thing, but there's been so little actual dialogue between Lu Guang and Chen Zhaoxi. If you go by the amount of runtime that we've had thus far,
that's true.
They actually spend most of the time showcasing other people's stories. So the amount of time that Lu Guang is actually talking to Zheng Xiaoxi about something that is not related to the immediate job that they're doing, there is a very small amount of actual dialogue like that. And he, I believe, would keep all of that in his like, hey, this guy knows his shit. He's guided me through so many of these things thus far. I keep all of that in a very important like memory bank in my mind.
Yeah.
So then when something that pops up some of that in a relevant way, an emotionally powerful way, he goes, fuck, no, I messed up. And that's why he comes back all defeated and just openly tells everything.
Of course.
Because he feels all this like trauma from experiencing that,
he had the situation from episode 5, and then he had the situation of, the person I helped ended up dead, right? Which I can't remember if he had heard that info or something, but the point is, he had that whole experience of inhabiting their body, living their life, and wanting to help them just to read a text from mom and dad, right?
Yep.
And then, hey, she died. You're trapped in the trunk of the killer as you hear her getting strangled.
The consequences of your text.
Right? You know, all of that stuff when you were already dealing with the trauma of, oh, fuck, I tried to help and fuck, you know.
Yeah.
Like that.
So what we are, in some ways, guided by the story, I think, is to be like, Chen Zhaoxi,
my poor
you
boy.
need a hug.
Oh, yeah.
Except we don't have time for that.
You won't get it from Lu Guang.
Lu Guang has a battle that he's waging.
And he's pissed. Because you threw it off.
And scared.
Oh, sure, that too.
And scared, because this is probably, this is again, a thing here. I don't think this is entirely new to him.
No.
But I think the way that the story can keep this interesting is that every present moment is potentially new for Lu Guang.
Yes.
Meaning that he hasn't necessarily lived this iteration of things
and we
already.
can tell that because he got surprised.
Yes, he's been surprised multiple times.
Otherwise, he'd just be a different main character that's not surprised by anything.
Well,
you know,
I will say, there's a lot of things about him that I've noticed that he doesn't seem to be very surprised by things at times.
He certainly isn't emotionally affected by a lot of things, but I would say that comes with that sort of Dr. Manhattan perspective and exposure
I've seen so much.
Yeah, he's Galadriel. You know, he's lived 80,000 years. You know, it's like,
I mean,
you know,
who
knows how long? Right?
Yeah, we could go into the he's looping back to a safe save point to try the game over and over again.
Right.
Or we could go for he's micromanaging the playthrough and being like, did we pick the right choice here? Nope, fuck, okay. And pick that one. Oh, nope.
And I would say he absolutely knows about the time hopping, and that specifically this dude is the time hopper, or is connected to, they're at least like a body that was used or something like that, because that's why he got so much more worried about this specific situation, right? Yes, his friend has also been kidnapped, so there is that too. It could totally just be that. But with the things of like, oh no, he's fucking things up, like, yes, he's fucking things up and you're not there to talk to him while he's doing it, but it very much seemed to me like it's this specifically more than any other time to muck up
goes down a bad place.
You're right, exactly. Yeah. Like I'm at that critical juncture. I'm in the middle of doing this weird indirect boss run.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all these moves, and then suddenly someone comes in, and you're like, no, fuck, stop it.
You know what's funny?
I've been working on this for 6 years.
Right. You know what's funny? This actually brings to mind the photo swap in that he did it so perfectly and so fast that Jacob and I were like, no way, Chen Gaoshi didn't see that.
Yeah. And then the cop definitely saw because it's sus that you're moving that quickly.
No. But the idea is that what if he's done that 27 times?
Oh, sure.
So the idea that he does it so fast is he's like, yeah, I've done this a million times. This is the point when I, basically
right.
just whoop.
Yeah, we get that little bit of ancient being that's, The level is higher than
human here. Let's keep it human here.
Okay.
He is absolutely a human being.
But his experience bar does not match up with the number. Right? Like it's
level 99 mafia boss casually walking around with 50 HP.
Also, here's another thing I'll say, which, by the way, I would love it if this is the explanation, because that's one of the few ways in which it would actually make sense. So, let's talk about our antagonist, right?
Yeah.
I love the setup. It's over the top and like hammy and everything, right? Ah, yes, attractive, blonde, rich family and everything. An executive at 27. He took over his father's company. What the fuck? How the fuck would that happen? Wait, and this... Oh, he's a time hopper.
Yeah, he's just a greedy asshole.
No, well, I'm sure, greedy asshole.
No,
but also...
No, he's an opportunistic asshole.
No, right. No, yeah.
He cares about money. That's the main thing he cares about.
Right, and so the motivation is there. But as far as the capabilities, if you can time hop, the fact that you're 27 years old, not just from the getting into the position, but being competent enough to stay in the position...
Or no. Just to have the father decide to do this.
Sure, and I guess given how kind of
absolutely a thing. That's not.
Given how kind of petulant he was when he was strangling Emma, that definitely seems like someone with limited perspective. Like he was getting frustrated because people online were
harassing
him. He's like.
That might just be us being YouTubers. Like, get with the program.
But I feel like a time traveler would have a level of perspective that would kind of.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. That might be why he's not absolutely won yet. It's because he's a selfish idiot.
Right. So he
has godlike power.
Oh no! This power fell into the worst possible hands. Right. It's yeah. Yeah. No, I like it.
Again, this is another thing. We're thinking about this not from the standpoint of what characters would actually think. We're thinking about this in the standpoint of what would be a crazy, twisty, entertaining, God battle between gods here.
To say nothing of the fact
that... But if we just have high schoolers running around with these abilities...
No, 27, right? They could have said he's 17 and he's a prodigy
just
out, right?
That's true.
Like,
how old are Lu Guang and Cheng Jiaoxi?
I don't know. It's really unclear. They're attractive. That's the main point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But the other thing that's crazy is that this is season 1.
Yes.
There is a season 2. Mm-hmm. So this guy could be an overarching Moriarty-style villain, he could just be the villain of the season, and we have some crazy way that Lu Guang has had to time hop or do all sorts of craziness or whatever to defeat him, and then it's done, and then it's like, oh shit, here we go again. There's another one in season 2, right? Like,
or this is the part that I'm really excited about, is that we still have to find at what point Lu Guang broke the rules and fucked things up.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is, whatever that breaking of the rules was.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I actually feel like the OP kind of gives us a little bit of a hint at.
Oh yeah, what was the thing?
There was a vibe that I got because I've been trying to figure out this OP because it's in wonderful English.
Yep.
And it's easy to kind of bop to. So I've not really been thinking about the lyrics and the images here, but the more and more that Lu Guang gets sussy, the more and more that this OP starts to make sense. So the OP starts. We have our whole, there's been photographs and stuff here.
Right. The film of the camera.
I'm going to do some light analysis here. We have a fractured mirror set up to show Lu Guang's perspective of probably seeing many different iterations or timelines or... It didn't take too long to realize that something has changed in the back of my mind. Your eyes. There ain't no left behind. Lu Guang's eyes have been basically a mask. He's been hiding basically the secrets of what he's done or what he's been doing. And this is Cheng Jiaoxi and him basically learning, or Cheng Jiaoxi learning the thing about Lu Guang.
And I would say the way that would happen in the most direct method would be at some point Lu Guang hops into Cheng Jiaoxi's body. Or something like that.
That's cool. I don't. All
right.
That's not my theory. The imagery in regards to the way this is done here is that Cheng Jiaoxi is the one that's basically lost in time.
Yeah.
And
the film is wrapped around his eyes.
Yeah. Cheng Jiaoxi is the one that suffers the consequences.
Okay.
Something that Lu Guang did fucked up Cheng Jiaoxi. It's the classic, relationship sundered, fuck, shame. I am now the one that messed things up here. And now he's basically looking into these photos in order to essentially find, save, protect, do what he can for Cheng Jiaoxi. It's all for him, right?
So, here's the thought.
Okay.
That would also be a way to address the quirky, specific way that the show is doing things with regards to not showing us the beginning of their relationship, and the fact that the little bit that we got felt like it lacked the traditional impetus to cause this strong bond, which would imply to me that maybe one person was a bit more invested or caused it to happen or whatever, which with the powers, that can totally happen. But what if the bad, like, early life that Cheng Jiaxi had was as a result of Lu Guang? Lu Guang's like, I need to fix it. So he finds him, he reestablishes the connection, but it's still not great because of all the stuff.
That's another great theory. I still don't like it either. I think we're still more in there's a future spot, the butterfly effect. We're still dealing in butterfly effect related stuff.
Yeah. But
meaning that we're in a situation where the bad thing is always potentially ahead.
Okay.
Like the actual like problem is something that is an active thing on Lu Guang's.
And so
mind.
he already went back and basically undid that.
He's already undid that, or he's been working to undo that constantly.
Okay.
And then this line. Time no longer flew like it was. Like it flash froze everything before without you. I don't know if I could take this rude.
Okay.
Basically that something with regards to this whole thing separated them, ruined their friendship. There was something that was foreshadowed with that early on in the story.
It doesn't have to be a past thing or a future thing or whatever. It could just be like at minimum, it's addressing the fact that the conflict of their dynamic is going to be a big part of the story, which makes sense. Like, even though
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm interrupting a lot.
Even though they are not like cops, this very much has that sort of like buddy cop like dynamic, right? You've got the loose cannon and the
we've been together for decades.
Yeah, exactly, right. And they go around helping people and everything. And so it's can they withstand the sundering, which has happened and is continuing to happen with the stuff that Cheng Jiaxi is going through, while Lu Guang is keeping him in the dark. And so
So the reason why I said the past is because Lu Guang has the rules now, meaning that the thing that happened is in the past. Regardless of whether it happens linearly in the future, it's Lu Guang's past. So
okay,
So that's obvious. Second thing, the fact that this is something that means he continues to keep Cheng Jiaxi in the dark means that it is a present problem, though.
I don't necessarily think so.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Then the third thing basically is that the thing that it was separated them. The show has definitely got the themes that they're better together. Everything that they have is something that they are able to make some positive impact through the push and pull that they have together.
And so the idea of their separation is a point of conflict.
The separation is a point of failure on Lu Guang's part.
In this whole past idea?
Well, yeah, the idea that whatever he did, whatever he broke the rules for, created a butterfly effect that ended up leading towards their sundering or them splitting or them losing each other.
I like that as an idea. I could definitely see that being the case. It's a lot more personal than something like, oh no, and then 100,000 people died. Right.
I don't think that's the kind of story that this is.
Lu Guang seems to have that kind of approach to a lot of things, though.
Well, I think that's because he has to be so militant about it, because it's a present problem.
No, totally. But there's a difference between this particular antagonist, let's say, right? Like, let's say he did a fuck up with regards to how he was trying to combat this person.
Right.
And so now he's going through a different iteration to try and fix it, do it right. Maybe it's, involved Cheng Jiaxi and all that stuff. With regards to the episodic stuff, though, that doesn't involve the main plot conflict, he wouldn't have to be so militant then, because that's not a present point of conflict of that, not being done properly.
No, that's why No, it absolutely is, because if we assume that Lu Guang knows that there's a time-hopping antagonist of any kind, he's known about it forever. He's gone back long enough that he knew about it.
This isn't his first rodeo.
Well, right, but that makes every single time that they time hop potentially one where they encounter a time hopping antagonist. Every single time that they raise their head up above the water, they are in danger.
In that sort of butterfly effect way, because even if he knows this mission was completely removed from any of the situations that, involved the time hopper. Theoretically, that could introduce some new info out there or whatever that could create a trail that leads back to me.
Right, and that's why he looks at the jobs to see if they're legit or not.
Sure.
And he's rarely said no.
Well, at the very least, him looking at the jobs is because he has an overarching goal, probably related to some super time hop or whatever.
Yes.
And it's I need to check to make sure that this lines up with the program.
Right.
And there are a lot of them where it doesn't matter, and those are the episodic stories.
And those are the episodic stories,
and we get those, and that's great.
And while they can be used to maybe foreshadow and establish some world stuff for us in the audience, that has nothing to do with Lu Guang's perspective. That's just meta stuff.
And so in this situation, he specifically was like, no, we're not going to help you with this job that, now we're involved with.
Right.
But because of the fact that they did a different thing that made Cheng Xiaoxi think of that, the friend did actually get kidnapped. Now it's we have to,
right, which is in my opinion why this is a very big present problem that happened in Lu Guang's past, and he knew that this was a bad thing to go into. Cheng Xiaoxi did it anyway, ended up fucking things up just in general. And now it's Lu Guang is either in the perspective of, I'm going to play this one out, see how this goes, and then at some point he's going to be like, okay, this has gone too far. I'm going to back out and try and redo things.
It's
we're in that space here where basically we have almost so much built up on Lu Guang's shoulders.
Yep.
But the
show
has also done that as well because we have another time hopper. We don't have one definitively. It has not been confirmed in any way, but we absolutely do.
Not like truly the
character looks at the camera and goes,
says,
there's another
time hopper. Yeah, we haven't gotten that yet, and that will happen, I'm sure. That will happen, even if they don't look at the camera while they say it. But we know emphatically that that's the case because of the whole situation of Emma suddenly being on the bridge. Yeah. That did not happen.
Yeah.
That did not happen in the original timeline. And,
it couldn't have happened.
It couldn't have happened. We know not a lot of things concretely, but those few things that we do
They're very pointed.
There is a time hopper. Certain people have permanence of memory with regards to changes, seemingly
which
the
is
main
just
cast
convenient
for
the
most part.
story.
Yeah, because otherwise the story wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And then you actually can change the past, right? Like that. It's not
right. And we've had that shown in so many different ways up until now to basically get at, in my opinion, the reason why you don't change the past is that it's not that you can't. It's that Lu Guang really doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And I think it's just that he's put a lot of work into the past.
Past, present, future, it's all the same, possibly.
Yes. But I'm so excited for this.
This is going to get even wonkier.
I just love that we have 2 episodes left in the season, and it feels like we're one episode away from a finale. It really does feel like we're either going to have a big 2-part finale, and it's going to be crazy.
And yet there's still that whole thing with the kidnapping, and I feel like that's got to be some kind of ploy by the time hopper. But at the same time,
this is actually the really straightforward thing. They're going to hop into Lumen's body in the next episode.
Oh,
that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, that would be the obvious.
Would be the obvious thing, and then they just save her.
Well, and here's the real question: can a time hopper hop into a time hopper's body?
Well, we don't know. That's going to be the point.
And if they do, are they both fighting over that? That could be a great way for comedy if they're both fighting over control of the body, or something. But if you can't do that, right? Or if you can't do that, that makes it a lot more straightforward. And then they've got to use the proxies. They don't just take control and kill themselves or something, right?
Right. But then it's the
because if you could, you just automatically win, right? That's just how it works. The other person can't even do anything at the moment because you've overridden their own will to exhibit behavior in this universe, right?
I also just really love the image of the I'm holding you hostage. It just reminds me of Code Geass.
Oh yeah, no.
You're not going to kill me if I already kill myself.
Right. Yeah, it reminds me of Code Geass, and more specifically, the more hilariously
cringy,
bullshit
silly parts of
Code Geass, and then also the Code Geass abridged, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna get into some whack territory. Does it make sense? Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah. But
so,
all right, awesome. Let's get into the next episode. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.